Greetings, I'm Demonac, and it's arena time. So here I am again, my voice still not matching because like I said last time, Windows sound setting, microphone, capture audio by program, executable, whatever, decided to eat all my voice audio for the 2 episodes. Next episode will be back to live commentary, which I like better because it doesn't involve wasting another 20 minutes of my time recording it.
Versus Jane.
I already played.
You asked for it.
Victory!
I certainly did not ask for it. So, here we go again. We're playing a mage with the Trog. He's pretty good. Rampage is not a great starting hand card, since my deck doesn't have any way to manipulate that or work it to my advantage. Darkscale Healer, whatever. That's kind of slow starting hand. Like, the Trog is good. Ironbeak Owl is very strong for the arena and stuff like that, but it's not what I want for a 2-cost card. Rocketeer. This is already looking like such a bad game. I should just, like, give up and do the whole thing as George Takai. That's right. George Takai. Not Takei, Bill. It's pronounced Takai. So let's see what we have here. Playing a game of Hearthstone as a warrior.
It's time for a little blood.
Like Captain Sulu. Of course, Captain Sulu. Because if you've seen Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country, you know that he was promoted to captain. That's the movie where he completely saved Jim Kirk's butt, along with the Enterprise. Oh yes. But, what do we have here? Currently I have what appears to be an owl, and some kind of flamboyantly dressed pirate, who have both just been mutilated. I'm not sure this is working out. So, let's play this Trog, was it? Trog, sure. It'll get larger if my opponent casts any spells. Gets very excited. But still appears to be something of a slow hand. Nevertheless, I have armor. I have a much larger minion than my opponent. Ooh, that's dangerous. Like flesh-eating wool. Oh. Frog is going to get very large, and then ignominiously perish. That's nothing to get excited about. So, options here are somewhat limited.
Try this.
Play the Wrathy Weaponsmith. Whip out Weapon Axe. So, I suppose it'll do under the circumstances, but I still prefer my trusty rapier. An elegant weapon from a more civilized franchise. What do we have there? We have some kind of a gnome piloting a backpack gyrocopter. The real problem is that extremely large, overzealous zombies trying to ravage me. So, I suppose I could trade my weaponsmith to kill it.
I wonder.
Watch this.
It's best to do that now. Get it out of the way before anything dangerous happens. And now I'll play a gigantic, extremely angry troll. The question is, do I attack with my not rapier? Always a difficult decision. I have a great many axes in this deck, but I'm going to save it this time because I still need something to kill enemy minions with, to get those little people out of the way. And the other cards in my hand, the other minions I have, are quite expensive. Watch it with that Fire Blast. It's like a convention all over again. Alright. I do have the Lost Tall Strider, is it? It's at least somewhat less expensive than my other choices. But, I could afford to slam something, and then still play either the Rocketeer, or my, what does he call it? The Healing Yeti. Some kind of Naga. But here's I'm going to go with the Tall Strider. Interesting. I mean, certainly if my troll were to exchange blows with the gnome, I could finish it with my axe, and my troll would become enraged and gain 3 attack, which is not inconsiderable. Would you slam the water elemental for some unknown reason? At least it does draw me a card. Let's finish that. I suppose that's acceptable, because I'm leaving my opponent with the choice of which minion to kill. She could freeze the troll, who's far more dangerous, but he would still be alive, even after a fire blast. Or the water elemental could, of course, deal with my extremely ornery bird, and finish it off with her little spell. But that would leave the troll. Never mind. Of course. It's fireball after fireball. She didn't even need the fire blast to finish him. So I can get another rather diminutive weapon, but still useful, though. Given that if I cast one of my more expensive minions, I won't be able to do much else, so I suppose I can get rid of him, dispatch him, to waste my dwarf's enhancing power, but at least this way I've used my mana efficiently, and gotten myself a couple of decent-sized minions on the board. Now we see what my opponent will do. And fairly rude. Yeah. So much for that weapon. A spider tank. What's this? Oh my. The Fell Reaver. That's an extremely dangerous gambit. Why would I play with something so dangerous? An 8/8 for 5 mana, but every single card played by my opponent would result in a loss of 3 cards off my deck. It's a frightening prospect. I'm already at half health compared to my opponent. I need to do something
Watch this.
fairly severe. Let's see if that's a duplicate she has. It's not. Heal my dwarf. And I could still rampage him, but I hate to do it preemptively. I don't like to go off too early. So if I rampage now, he'd still be vulnerable to fireballs. I'd rather save it and use it just before he attacks, although if she were to Flame Strike, or I suppose Blizzard and Fire Blast, and now I won't have a dwarf to do it to, and my Naga is frozen, and therefore not a particularly useful target for the rampage either. You know what? Throw it all to the wind. Unleash the might of my Fell Reaver. It cores like a throbbing inferno of heat and power. The core of a flaming sun, which is now burning up all my cards. There goes the bear. Polymorph right away. Ogre. Oh, one of my axes. Those axes are very important. I remember when this game was originally played, I was so unused to the concept of the Fell Reaper that I wasn't exactly paying attention to which of my precious cards was burned away. So now I was left to wonder with the few cards remaining in my deck, what were my chances of drawing another axe? Had I lost 2 of them or more? It's very disturbing. So that got countered. I got all carried away talking and I didn't even notice what spell it was. When I play, I don't notice the Fell Reaver, and now when I commentate, I don't notice which of my spells is being countered. But there you go. I do have something of an army, such as it is, against her nothing. But neither of us have many cards, and she has quite a bit more life than I do. Many more hit points. Aha! I didn't lose all my axes. I still have a couple of tricks up my... I'd better get rid of her minion in the hopes of keeping mine alive. I might still have another axe. At this point I don't know, although we know that I do. But... Kodo destroys a sheep? I suppose that's just the circle of life. The natural course of things. Now, play a dire wolf alpha. Sure, that's impressive in some sense. There's no time for subtlety, though. Let's use my axe to dispatch my foes and send my army. Deal with my enemy. She has 2 cards, but is there any way she can recover? A Spectral Knight is quite dangerous, and not so easy to get rid of. Another polymorph. And another dead sheep, of course. Oh my. Now that's an interesting one, isn't it? I already have the better army, since she has nothing at all. I'm definitely going to armor up because I have plenty of mana. If I play Jeeves, he will benefit my opponent as well. At the end of each player's turn, they draw up to 3 cards if they have less than 3. But I will draw the cards right away so that on my next turn I'll have them. And she won't have the additional cards. Even if Jeeves survives, she won't have those cards to defend herself this turn. So I was giving myself another chance to draw an axe, which didn't exactly pan out. What, if anything, could she have drawn to defend herself? Ah! Not sure if my gamble paid off, but regardless, I have won, and now I can stop doing this rather dubious impression. Okay. That game was actually pretty tense, I remember. I'm sure I talked about it. Now I'm talking about myself talking about it. You can see why I don't normally do it this way. It's just better to just comment on what I'm doing at the time. It's less confusing. You don't have bad celebrity impressions.
The light shall bring victory.
Just have
Victory or death!
regular, sane commenting on what cards I'm throwing away. I'd rather have that owl late game. I'd rather have that owl back instead of the 6-cost Rocketeer. I've got low-cost cards, and somehow it's not a good, fast-starting hand in any way, shape, or form. But I just have to... Am I really gonna... I'm apparently gonna archer my opponent for 1. See, it's because I have the Direwolf. I'm worried about my opponent getting up some tempo and overwhelming me or something, but... I hate playing the elf there first. I mean, it means that I can use the wolf, potentially, or in this case, I can slam, which at least replaces itself.
I'll give it a shot.
And finish her off with that. But, this game looks like another disaster. Yeah, I did pull through that last one, but I don't know. There's a bear. Look at how badly, like, it's just a bear. It's a 3/3 for 3 with taunt. Look how badly. What do I have in my hand? that can even remotely deal with this. Anything I do is going to be useless. It's so bad, I should just, like, just turn over the commentary to whoever's next in line. I think what you're looking for is Zap Brannigan. That's right, I'll take over this fiasco. As Duke's primary officer in charge of fiascos, I know exactly what to do, right, Kif?
Silvermoon shall not fall.
I said right, Kif. Yes, sir. Now, we appear to be outnumbered. In that our opponents have numbers and we have 0. We need to do something about this. We need to do something reckless. This one has Berserker in the name, that's promising. You play the Spectral Knight,
What now?
you'll easily be overwhelmed by the opposing forces. They seem to have a variety of numbers and such. Could be a problem. So, I like this Berserker fellow. He seems to know what's going on. Cool, calculating Berserker plan. What villain's chosen? What sorcery is this? It appears to be some kind of enchantment, sir. Yeah, I know that, Kif. But now we're being beaten down by some kind of gigantic, sparkling elf. This is absolutely not the way things are supposed to go. I need more men out there. You need... If I play this fellow, he has an axe. We know that weapons are good, except that his axe is on the small side. Kif, why didn't you attack the bears? Sir, they won't kill the bears. They'd be taking 3 damage for nothing. Taking 3 damage for nothing? That's a horrible idea, Kif. Why do I even keep you around?
My eyes are open.
Enemies appear to be multiplying. What we need is to send wave upon wave of minions until we run out their preset kill limit. They do have a kill limit, right, Kif? No, sir. They're not killbots. They appear to be a motley collection of fantasy creatures. Fantasy, eh? Now you have my attention, Kif. Where was I? Oh yes. Fantasy. Oh, fantasy. Such a cruel mistress. Sir, you may want to pay attention to the battle. Battle? Oh lord, we're under attack! We should probably defend against them somehow. I have a large spectral knight. Certainly he can deal with those bears or what in God's name is that? Vojin? Sounds like some kind of a filthy neutral. Heart full of neutrality. Comes out, trades his hit points for someone else's. We need to do something about this. We have 8 of those little blue thingies. We should play an axe. No, we already have an axe. It's exactly what our opponent wants us to do. On the other hand, if we do what our opponent wants us to do, that's the last thing he will expect. Right, Kif? Never mind that, Kif. What we need to do is to somehow kill all of the enemy minions, and then get some of our own minions. That seems like it would be the way to do things. You should get right on that. that was a start. We killed 2 things. That leaves 1, 2, 3, 4 things against our 0 things. It's not a very favorable ratio. In situations like this, we can only rely upon Brennigan's Law.
Ready, sir.
Because Brennigan's Law is like the law of averages, but above average. Sir. This situation has deteriorated to the point that I see only one alternative. Do I have to ask, sir? Yes, Kid. I have to ask what the alternative is.
Can I help you, sir?
What is the alternative, sir?
Get that.
Clearly, under a circumstance such as this, under such dire circumstances, only the greatest leadership could possibly avail us. And that leadership is... What is he doing? He just killed all of our men, Kith. Ah! My hit points! My hit point... singular. Abandon ship! Anyway, seriously, like, that guy was gonna be a dick. He reduced me to 1 hit point instead of killing me deliberately. That's just a giant waste of time. Nobody needs that. So, with that, I can put an end to this whole dubbing over thing. Hopefully, but probably not, forever. So, just have to get back to normal-ass videos that are properly done in time with what I was playing. That's what we got next time. Please click the like button before it clicks you. And check out Tales from My D&D Campaign on youtube.com/Demonac.